Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell in the upper right hand corner. Follow me on all forms of social media. Check me out at thatdrummerguy.com and enjoy the following presentation.
Hello, Josh.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. I'm sorry the interviews are overlapping a little bit.
Oh, that's quite alright. I'm just glad you were able to take the time to do this interview.
Sure, I'm glad you're having me.
Oh, awesome. Well, of course, we're here to talk about the brand new album from Voivod, which is it's so great to be able to see that you guys are back with a full-fledged album again this time around, The Wake, which is coming out through Century Media. I've gotten the chance to be able to check this out over the last few days, and I just absolutely love what's going on here. It captures all of my favorite moments of what Voivod is all about, and still being able to progress as a band. I mean, it's so great to see that.
Yeah, the chemistry is absolutely great right now with this lineup, and we're really enjoying it. And I know that there are like signatures of all the periods we've had, but there is definitely a new twist with Rocky and Chewy interacting musically, and sort of like a fusion thrash metal style. It's very motivating for me, actually, as a drummer.
Oh, I can absolutely imagine so. You know, it's of course not always under the best circumstances when there is a lineup change. I'm glad to see that the lineup change that you were able to get was able to progress the band even further. And, you know, of course, being a drummer yourself, you know, like being able to experiment a little bit more with your playing and being able to play with some new ideas that are going on thanks to some new band members.
Yes, I really like the road we're heading for right now, where we're back to intricate material, and the challenge for me really is not to repeat a beat that I've done before on other albums, and it's stimulating. And so I was saying that we have this sort of new twisted style to our music that is very interesting to explore. We'll try, both musically and sonically, actually. Francis, who owns the studio where we are recording at nowadays, is very helpful with the layers of music and the sonic possibilities. So we are pretty excited.
So, with that said, how did this all begin writing this brand new album?
Well, it began actually about a couple of years ago, and from the start, Snake said, I would love to write a long story all through the album, and then Chewy really went for it and brought back musical parts, but rearranged, and then we worked on interludes, outros, intros, and then Chewy brought in a string quartet and wrote parts for them, and we did some experiments at the percussion department where Chewy teaches. He teaches music at in college. So we to put that together while doing hundreds of shows the last couple of years was quite a puzzle. We had to work to work in the bus on a computer, and so we wrote parts of it on the road, and then rehearsed it between tours, and then it mutated into this Voivod album. And Chewy is the main writer of the band, and so we brought ideas in, and he's like the main arranger for sure.
And with that, I mean, what was that like for you? I mean, getting Chewy to be able to like write on the road and being able to write on the road while you're on tour.
Oh, it's not always obvious. Rocky is very dedicated in setting up a small studio, portable studio, either for the back of the bus or backstage or in hotel rooms. And but sometimes when we share buses, like we did for, let's say, the Death Crusher tour in Europe a couple of years ago, where we shared the bus with Obituary and Napalm Death, it was a bit less obvious, to set up a proper setting. But the last couple of years, we were able to work on arrangements and songs on the road, even for some of the post-society material. We were able to do so. It's sort of a new process, actually, for us. It really started with this new lineup in 2014.
Yeah, and it's so great to see that too, because getting the opportunity to see you guys a few years back when you were touring with Napalm Death here in Minnesota, I mean, you guys just were like absolutely on fire on stage, and it was such a great set to be able to see that and see that chemistry going on with this lineup. And then being able to hear Post Society a couple years back now, you know, it's just I really loved what was going on there with the songwriting, and just, you know, I was very excited to see what was going to be coming from a full-length album. And now hearing this with The Wake, I mean, hearing a full-fledged story that's going on there with a brand new arranger and songwriter that's going on there, and everyone else being able to add their own bits and pieces into the music. I mean, it feels like a brand new full-fledged band, but it's still Voivod, which is a great thing to be able to see.
Yeah, I think the advantage is that both Rocky and Chewy are fans of all the periods of Voivod. So there are really like elements I can recognize from all the periods, from the thrash metal of the 80s to the more psychedelic style of Angel Rat and Outer Limits, even the Eric Forrest style with Phobos. But the thing is, there's definitely a new twist to the music, and it's sort of a futuristic twist, really. But it's fun to be able to keep the Voivod signature going naturally without overthinking it.
Oh yeah, and that's what's so important too. And you know, it's kind of amazing to me that there's not too much overthinking that's going on with Voivod. I mean, especially with how forward-thinking the band has always been. So, you know, being able to find that good combination of knowing what's going to be best for the song and knowing what to play and what to keep, what to get rid of, you know, whatever the case is. I mean, it's great to see that chemistry's still going.
Yeah, and especially that live, having played that many shows the last couple of years, we are really tight, and people really appreciate that. They come to us after the show and they just tell us that it's the tightest show they've seen from Voivod, and so it's a very efficient unit right now. And also the atmosphere in the band and the where we are heading for musically and all that. It's a great experience, and the last tour in Europe last fall was very well attended, and we have a lot of respect from many generations, so we have a great momentum. The new single Obsolete Beings is getting a lot more views than we had for the Post Society singles, and so it's great for us. It's a good indication that people might enjoy the new album.
And with that, I mean, how was it decided that Obsolete Beings would be the first taste of what people got to hear off the new album?
It's the first song of the album, and it's sort of a transition lyrically and musically between Post Society and The Wake. So we immediately thought we should release it as a first single and first video, and we played it at the 35th anniversary show we just did up north in our hometown, the exact same spot where we played 35 years ago, our very first show, and we documented it, and so we were able to we played that song live this summer at festival, so we were able to include live footage in the new video, and so but it's definitely the least complicated song on the album, though. So all the next singles will be more intricate music wise. So we're excited to see the reaction to the next singles.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, throughout the entire album, of course, you know, there's some great catchy moments that are going on there too. But like you said, there's a lot of great intricate moments that happen throughout. And you know, it's gonna be exciting to see what you guys pick out next for a next single, because there's so many great directions that you could be going in.
Yeah, it's true. And right now we have two singles lined up, and this year, I mean 3 altogether. So 2 more, and then we'll try to have another video early next year. And but it is tough to pick up the singles actually, because all the songs are kind of twisted and weird.
Oh, very much so. But that's also what's so intriguing about Voivod, because it makes you want to go back and listen to it and just try to comprehend everything that's going on, seeing how everything flows into each other, and how you can write such intricate material.
I think it's I mean, years of experience taught me that well, it's very personal. I try to be more tasty simplicity in my playing instead of trying to be super tight. Like I was like in the Nothing Face days, I was trying to be so focused, and even though Nothing Face was not done on a click track, it sort of sounded like it was. And but nowadays I have another approach where I try to really be tasteful and not repeat the beats I did in the past and all that. But of course I really do my best to play the best take I can in the studio, so it's a combination. You know, I'm able to. It's hard to explain, but I'm able nowadays to play intricate stuff, but with a minimal approach. So it's sort of my vision right now.
And it's a great vision to have too. And I remember the first time I was able to see Voivod live, and then looking at the setup that you have, and just being mesmerized with you being able to play everything that you do with a more minimal setup compared to a lot of drummers in similar styles. And it's so awesome to see how you are able to play so tastefully and so intricate on a setup that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I did have the big thrash metal kit in the 80s with, I mean, the cage with 4 toms, 2 floor toms, and hundreds of cymbals, and eventually I really wanted to go back to the kit I had when I learned Kiss and Beatles songs when I was like 12 or 13, you know, and so I totally went back to the Ringo Starr setup, and in the early 90s, and I've been trying to really explore the most avenues I can on this simple kit.
And for the recording of this album, did you switch anything up since Post Society at all on your setup, or are you using the exact same setup?
It's the exact same setup.
Oh, that's incredible to hear that too. You know, it's just like even between Post Society and The Wake, you know, it's just like hearing how much tighter the band consistently is getting as well too. And you know, just like it really helps when you are able to find that setup that just works perfectly for what you're doing, and you don't need to change anything else, and you can just play so comfortably and free.
Yes, and I think we're gonna keep. I mean, Francis, who owns the studio we are recording at nowadays, is really helpful with developing. I mean, he really helps us to develop sonically, and so from Post Society to The Wake, I think it's a step up, and we just, with all the gear is bringing in and all that in the studio, as time goes on, it's really endless, the possibilities for us, and so it's a great setup for us.
Oh, absolutely. And in speaking of fantastic stuff, of course, the artwork which you created for The Wake is some of my favorite artwork that I've seen you do to date so far. Where did the inspiration come from for coming up with this artwork for The Wake?
Oh, it came from while we were recording. I was asking Snake about the lyrics, because since he wanted to develop a story the whole album through, he was writing the lyrics as we were writing the music, and I was asking him about the lyrics, and he kept telling me about the aftermath of this, the aftermath of that, and so it definitely had a post-apocalyptic vibe that's, you know, pretty current in the Voivod world, you know, and I just at one point had a vision of illustrating the 4 of us as 4 Voivods doing a wake for a dead planet, and I didn't know how to get the intensity of it, and I was thinking about the early covers I did with acrylic paintings, and they had an intensity to it, and so since I switched to digital art in the mid-80s, I was scratching my head a bit because I had been doing a lot of digital airbrush work for the past decades, and for this cover I had the idea of using the digital paintbrush, try to replicate the early vibe of the early albums, and so that was my main goal, and because I really wanted it to reflect the music of the album, so it would be very coherent, because the lyrics and the music are so tied together that I wanted to express it visually as well.
And I can definitely say from the fan perspective, you absolutely nailed it when it comes to that. I mean, just looking at the artwork alone, I mean, there's just like such a great intensity to it, and chaos and apocalyptic feel that's going on there. Yet it just has that patented edge that I love so much about your style of artwork, and it just fits so perfectly for what's going on with the Wake.
Oh, thank you very much. And many people think it's very different than other stuff I usually do, but I didn't realize that really it's probably a little less mechanical than the art I'm usually putting out. But to me, it's very Voivodian still.
Oh, very much so. So again, with the album coming out September 21st through Century Media, and of course getting some great recognition going on for the first single and being able to do this press and everything, what's going to be coming up next for Voivod?
Oh, I mean, right now we're doing festivals, which is great. The real work really starts when the album comes out in September. We're gonna start a worldwide tour, so we start in Europe early next year. I'm pretty sure we'll go across North America, South America, then Asia, Australia, and such. And we're just gonna tour this album for a long time, I feel like. And knowing Rocky and Chewy, we'll be writing a new album while on the road.
Yeah,
but we do love to release 7-inch vinyls for the tours. Though it's a great opportunity. Like for the Euro tour, we'll have the Always Moving song on 7-inch, and the B-side will be Order of the Blackguards, recorded on the 70,000 Tons of Metal this year. And we hope to. That's how we were able to compile enough material for the Post Society EP. It's with split singles with Napalm Death at the Gates or Entombed AD, so it's fun to do that nowadays.
Oh yeah, and that's what I loved so much before the release of The Wake, was the fact that you were able to collaborate with so many different bands on releasing some splits and being able to show up both sides of your personality and all these other great bands that you've been able to tour with and release splits with.
Yes, it's great because we are on a very well established heavy metal label with a big roster. So right now we have tons of friends, that we can do split singles with split 7-inch and such. So it's a great opportunity.
Oh, very much so. And that's also what's got me really excited about what's going to be happening with the upcoming touring. Being able to promote an album as great as The Wake. I mean, how does it feel for you now to be able to have another full-fledged album worth of material to be able to choose from to play live amongst everything else in the Voivod catalog?
Yeah, it's really, really cool because we noticed that the crowds, they know the lyrics for the Post Society EP songs that we play live, and it's very encouraging. And we even noticed that a bunch of people know the lyrics for the new single, Obsolete Beings, and we are tempted to put more new material. It's been harder over the years to do a retrospective of our career. We have to skip albums there and there nowadays, and but we still play material from their first 7 albums and stuff from Post Society and The Wake. So let's say from War and Pain to Outer Limits, and then the new material. So that's enough for headliner shows and etc.
Oh, definitely.
I think, yeah.
But I was just gonna say, with being able to play things off the first 7 albums and then being able to focus on the current incarnation of Voivod, I mean, that does cover a lot of ground when it comes into a Voivod show. And both times I've been able to see the band, it was great being able to hear both of that as well. Just like from Target Earth and Post Society, and then being able to hear like the classics of the Voivod catalog. I mean, I really love the way that you guys do the set up the set list, and I continue to think that you keep doing it right every time.
Yeah, we know that people will always want to hear the 80s thrash metal material, and it'd be disappointing for them if we would not play that material. But not only that, it's really fun to play, and sometimes we do play Forlorn from the Eric Forrest era, and also Global Warning, from the Jason Newsted era. But right now, it's like more the classics and the new stuff. But we try to refresh the set list as often as we can. We actually have on the road about 2 or 3 set lists that we alternate. So it's exciting, and also mainly in Europe because of these distances. Many people follow us around, and so it's fun for them to see 2 or 3 different sets in a row.
Oh, very much so. And I gotta imagine that's gonna be fun for you too, being able to switch things up and know that not every show is gonna be the same.
Yeah, because we tend to do 35, 40 shows in a row without that many days off. So we try to keep it fresh for ourselves as well.
Yeah, and that's so important because the more fresh that you feel on stage, the more fresh it's going to be for everyone checking out the show. And especially, like you said, if there's people that are checking out multiple shows, it's going to be fresh for them every night.
Yes, and so right now we are definitely in the refreshing mode. So we are relearning old classics and rehearsing the newer material, which we haven't played much, really.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine that's gotta be fun, though. I mean, being able to play some older material that you haven't played in a while, and of course, being able to learn and relearn the new material as well for the live setting.
Yes, and somehow, I mean, how can I say, playing the old classics live for the past few years sort of rubbed off on the newer material that we're writing in a way. I never really thought about it before right now, but I think it probably did. So at one point, the show becomes like one. How can I say? It's the older stuff. It's sort of played in a new way, and that connects with the newer stuff. And probably the writing of the newer material is influenced by the older classics. So it's all a great melting pot. That's exciting.
Oh, very much so. And even with the more modern edge sound that's going on with Voivod right now with the Wake, it's great to still be able to harken back to those early days of Voivod, playing those classic songs and, just getting this great new mixture of what Voivod is all about in 2018.
Mm-hmm. And I think that going down the fusion prog trash punk metal road right now, it's even more exciting for us because we're just doing, how can I say, we are writing the music that we want to play, and we're hoping that that people will enjoy the new album. But so far, the reaction to Obsolete Being has been really amazing.
Oh, and it's so great to hear that too, because it is such a great single to be showing off what Voivod is capable of in 2018. And I would just say the Wake in general is it's an awesome representation of where you guys are at right now in 2018 with, coming out in September through Century Media, getting to be able to talk to you about all of this, whether it be the artwork, whether it be the songwriting, and the upcoming touring and current touring that's currently going on with Voivod. And with that, I think that's a great note to end on. And thank you so very much for taking this time to be able to talk to me about everything Voivod.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Oh, absolutely. Next time you guys make it back to Minnesota, I'm definitely going to be there. I can't wait to hear these new songs live.
Excellent. Next time, by the way, I'm in Minnesota. It's to record the new KROCKS album, which is very exciting as well.
Oh, yes. And that's got me very excited, too. I mean, obviously, being able to focus on Voivod right now, but, if you get the opportunity to do any promotion for the new KROCKS album, I would love to be able to talk to you about that as well.
Oh, sure. I'm so proud of this project. I'll be really into doing an interview for sure.